Hi, this is Steph with Belladonna Dyes, and today's project is going to be the single color in Fuchsia Red, and this is going to be going into the playlist of Dharma's dye swatches, so make sure you check that out. For this project, you want to start by centering your shirt, and what I'm doing right now is I'm using a washable marker to mark out the center points. Then I'm going to tuck one sleeve inside the other sleeve and line up all the seams along the underarm and along the shoulder. Then I'm going to find those marks that I made and give them a little pinch. Then I lay one side of it flat against the table and fold the other side on top of that. And then I will hold on to those marks that I made and I lift it up off the table and I shake it really hard. And then I flop it back down on the table and smooth out all the wrinkles. I lost the footage of me marking out my pattern, or I forgot to hit record, I don't know. But basically what I did is I drew on a diamond pattern in the very center corner, and then I drew lines on every 4 inches. And that's not a necessary step, it's just something that I like to do. And now I'm going to pleat along those lines. And I used my yardstick to go right up underneath the shirt and create the first pleat. So these pleats are approximately 1 inch tall. And you want to make all of the pleats the same height going all the way across the shirt. For this shirt, I'm going to simply secure it by using rubber bands. You could also use kite string, it really is just a matter of preference. I just think rubber bands are quick and easy. So I'm starting out with my tiny baby hair rubber bands. And then I'm going to move into my second favorite rubber bands where the shirt gets wider. You don't want to make it so tight that you're squishing down your pleats, and you also want to have just the right amount of tension so that your dye can flow down the channels. I hope that makes sense. Now, this shirt is a Gildan prepared for dyeing, and I get them from jiffyshirts.com. So it's going to say Gildan PFD. They're new to me. I've only used one other shirt, I think, so far. They're very stiff. So I've scoured them twice, meaning I've pre-washed them in Kirillon 2 hot water cycles. I wanted to make sure that they were super clean, and if there was any sizing or anything on them, which there shouldn't be since they're prepared for dyeing, but just in case. And like I said, they're still really stiff. So this is a learning curve for me, and it took me a long time to get the pleats right, especially around the collar, because it just feels so much thicker than the regular El Cheapo Gildan shirts that I'm used to. Always check the back of your project and fix anything that might be wrong before moving on to the dyeing part. So finally, got all that done. You can see why I say now it's time for the fun part, we get to add the dye, because pleating to me just feels like such a chore. Playing in all the wonderful colors, that just makes me feel happy. So this is, like I mentioned, going to be the single color in Fuchsia Red, and I do have my rack propped up on an incline. So as you can see here, I've got one end of it down inside the tote and the other is up on the edge of the tote. And I just am going to be adding these in about 1.5 inch, 2 inch strips, leaving a lot of white space. That way we're able to see the movement in the dye and if there will be any color splits or anything going on. Also, if this is your very first time seeing one of my tutorials, those red things are called silicone cake molds, and they are awesome. Once you have the dye on your shirt the way that you like it, give it a quick little sprinkle of soda ash for good measure, just to the areas where you've added the dye, and then add your ice. And I have found that if I start at the bottom of the incline adding my ice, I don't knock as much of the dye loose and into the white areas. And then it's recommended that you let it batch at 70 degrees or higher for at least 24 hours. This shirt ended up sitting for about 4 days before I got to the rinse out, which is no big deal. I just was too busy to get to it, and it's fine. So now it's time for the rinse out, and you want to start by using cold water to rinse away any soda ash that might still be reacting within the fabric, and then increase your water up to hot and rinse until the water runs pretty much clear. From here, I take it to the washing machine, and I do however many hot water cycles it takes using Kirillon till the hot water in the cycle does not look like it's full of dye. It's usually about 2 hot water cycles for me. And then I like to do a final hot water cycle using Millsoft. And Millsoft is a professional fabric softener, and I get Kirillon and Millsoft from Dharma Trading Company. And like with everything else, the links for them are down below in the description box. Makes it easy for you to find and, look into it. Then I'll put it in the dryer and I'll iron it, and we'll come back and see the results. Well, here it is, guys. Here's our Incline ice dye in the single color of Fuchsia Red, and I think the shirt turned out really pretty. I definitely love this particular pattern, and I chose it because I know that Fuchsia Red doesn't split because it's a primary color. So I wanted to do something, more dynamic than a spiral because, well, we're not going to see any color splits. So where you do see lighter tones of the Fuchsia Red, that's just because the ice diluted the dye and it spread out, and so you have a lighter pink. That is not a color split. Color splits would be a secondary color, like if there was orange or blue or something like that. So as far as the color Fuchsia Red goes, I definitely recommend that you start with Fuchsia Red in your arsenal. You want to get the primary colors because you can mix those with each other and create a rainbow. So it's a very beautiful color, but there's not much to say about it really. And this is the liquid swatch against the ice dye. That way you're able to see what both methods are capable of. So overall, I think the shirt turned out great. What do you guys think of Fuchsia Red? Please leave me some comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up, and click the bell and set it to all. That way you get notified of future uploads. And remember, have fun tie-dyeing!